Hey guys, Joe here from Wet and Wild Aquatics and Exotics. This is the first video in our Introduction to Marine Aquarium series, where we'll take you step by step through the basic theory of setting up and maintaining your first saltwater tank. In today's video, we're going to cover the absolute basics of keeping a marine aquarium. We'll go over the differences in marine aquariums to freshwater, including difficulty and price, and the different types of marine aquariums. So, if you want to stay updated on the future videos in this series, don't forget to like and subscribe. Marine aquariums offer an incredible opportunity to keep some of the most beautiful and fascinating fish in the world. However, they also require careful attention to detail, particularly when it comes to maintaining stable water parameters. Unlike freshwater aquariums, saltwater setups demand greater precision, stability, and ongoing maintenance to ensure the health of your fish and corals. Saltwater fish and corals are far less forgiving than freshwater species when it comes to fluctuations in temperature, salinity, pH, and many other water parameters. Although many of the skills that you will have learnt whilst keeping freshwater aquariums will be necessary to keep a saltwater tank, there will be a much larger emphasis on water testing and a lot more you will need to know about water chemistry. The additional equipment, cost, and sensitivity of marine life make it a high commitment hobby and should not be begun without doing extensive research beforehand. During your time keeping freshwater aquariums, you may already be aware of water parameters such as ammonia, nitrite, nitrate, temperature, and have a vague idea about pH and water hardness. But in marine aquariums, however, as well as the aforementioned, you will also have to be aware of salinity, phosphate, calcium, alkalinity, magnesium, and some trace elements. Testing of these in full should be done weekly, and investing in high-quality test kits or digital monitors can make this process easier and more accurate. On top of these chemical elements, you will also have to be aware of the way that light spectrum and intensity and water flow have an effect on your aquarium. The reason marine tanks are a lot more complicated is because they have a much smaller margin of error. A small change in salinity or temperature can cause significant stress to marine inhabitants. The reason for this is because with freshwater fish, they live in smaller bodies of water, which are affected by the seasons and naturally have larger fluctuations of water quality due to nearby leaves from trees decomposing within it. Whereas with saltwater, which is in one singular body, being the water in the oceans, the water quality barely fluctuates at all. This has led to saltwater fish and corals in the ocean being extremely sensitive to fluctuations, which are likely to happen in the home aquarium. This makes consistency in water changes, dosing of additives, and overall tank maintenance vital for long-term success. On top of this, saltwater fish are more prone to parasites and diseases compared to hardier freshwater species. Many freshwater aquarium keepers never encounter parasites or bacterial infections. However, they are comparatively common in marine tanks, which is why quarantine tanks are recommended for all new marine fish. Although not essential when you have a trusted store locally, quarantining new fish helps prevent the introduction of diseases and parasites. Saltwater aquariums can be expensive due to the initial cost of the equipment and the price of the livestock. On top of this, they are more expensive to maintain and due to the amount of equipment, also tend to use more electricity. Some of the main costs include a larger aquarium with an included sump in the cabinet, which would require its own return pump, protein skimmers, power heads or wave makers for water circulation, automatic top-off systems to correct for evaporation, high-intensity LED lighting for corals, reverse osmosis water purification systems, marine salt mix, test kits and supplements, and live rock. As well as providing the structure and decoration to the aquarium, live rock serves as the biological filtration in a saltwater aquarium. It's very porous, so is a natural habitat for beneficial bacteria that help to break down fish waste. This should be seen as a compulsory component to the aquarium, but it can be costly, as the majority of areas price this well over £10 per kilogram. Considering you need around 1 kilogram of live rock per 10 litres of aquarium volume, this can end up being a very expensive component of a proper marine setup. Water changes in marine aquariums require you to prepare your own salt water, which is done using pure reverse osmosis water and a marine salt mix, which is definitely a costly and laborious process compared to just using your tap water in freshwater aquariums. The frequency and volume of water changes will depend on your stocking levels and nutrient buildup. Marine hobbyists can either buy pre-mixed salt water from a store or mix their own using a high-quality marine salt mix and RODI water. Although theoretically you could use seawater from your local beaches, the likelihood is that there would be too many impurities and pollutants in British seawater to attempt keeping foreign species in, as well as it being more effort than it's worth. Generally speaking, marine aquariums come into two types: coral reef tanks, and fish-only tanks, that is to say, aquariums with corals and ones without. Reef tanks include live coral and invertebrates requiring stable water parameters and high-quality lighting and equipment. These will be the most complex and expensive versions of keeping a marine tank. If you just want to keep saltwater fish and don't want the complexity or expense of keeping corals, a fish-only tank may be a better starter option. There are also many species of marine fish that are not considered reef safe. For example, large angelfish that will eat small invertebrates and corals. As well as this, you have the opportunity to keep larger predatory fish like puffers and eels. Whilst it's very feasible to keep a reef tank with a mix of different types of corals, reef tanks generally consist of soft coral tanks, which are beginner friendly as soft corals are more forgiving with water quality, LPS or large polyp stony corals, which require moderate care with stable water parameters, and SPS or small polyp stony corals, which are highly demanding, needing pristine water conditions and strong lighting. There are also non-photosynthetic corals, which require frequent feeding as they do not rely on light for energy. There are also some specialist marine tanks. Anemone only, which can be difficult to keep, requiring mature, stable systems, and anemones also move at their own accord, so safety measures should be put in place to make sure that they don't walk into power heads and shred themselves. Seahorse or pipefish tanks, which need species-specific setups with gentle flow and multiple daily feedings of mostly live foods. Jellyfish tanks, which require specialised shape aquariums with circular water flow to keep the jellyfish suspended. And cold water marine tanks, which are far less common but need chillers to maintain low temperatures. Keeping a saltwater aquarium is a rewarding yet challenging hobby, and arguably the pinnacle of keeping a home aquarium. With proper research, patience, and commitment, anyone can create a thriving marine ecosystem in their home. Whether you're interested in a simple fish-only setup or a full reef tank, understanding the requirements and responsibilities of saltwater aquariums is key to long-term success. That's it for today. In the next video, we'll go over a basic rundown on the equipment you'll need to get from a marine tank. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Thanks for watching.